Bungie's 30th anniversary event is coming up soon in Destiny 2, and we've got a massive sandbox update coming, which is going to switch things up in terms of which weapons to use in game. Well, today I'm going to have a look at some of the best legendary weapons and perks to get your hands on before that update, so you can be in the best possible position going into the Bungie 30th anniversary event. Well, if you're new around here or find this useful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below for all the latest Destiny 2 content, and turn on notifications by hitting that bell. And roughly 98% of viewers who watch This Week in Video Games aren't subscribed, so subscribe today and never miss an update. Well, Bungie gave us a big update about a week ago about their sandbox changes related to weapons, and that is coming on December the 7th. So today I'm going to run down some of the great legendary weapons to get your hands on and why, related to the buffs that are coming up soon. So without delay, let's dive into the weapons, and the first category is caster swords. So Bungie shipped this with a high heavy attack ammo cost to offset the great melee weapon. It also has a good ranged attack, but now believe it's safe to reduce the ammo cost. So they've reduced the heavy attack ammo cost from 8 to 5. So here we've got a couple of good options. We've got Solar Scar. This one is a legendary power solar sword, and it comes from Trials of Osiris. So Tireless Blade and On Guard is a good role to look out for. But I think the most interesting feature of this sword is it can roll with chain reaction. So that's where each final blow with the weapon creates an elemental damage explosion. And I think that this is the only sword in the game that can have chain reaction on it. And it's really, really good because it makes it potentially explosive. We also have Temptation's Hook. So this one is a power sword that deals arc damage, and some interesting perks on this one, and a whole load of benefits as well. First of all, you want to be using that caster frame so you can launch a heavy projectile attack. And the attacks are stronger when you have full energy, so it can drop with Surrounded, where the weapon gains bonus damage with 3 or more enemies are in close proximity. But another decent role is Tireless Blade, where you get sword ammo for every powered kill, and Surrounded, as we mentioned before. Also, Balanced Guard is good for all-round balanced defences, and Honed Edge for that increase in damage. Well, next up, let's have a look at linear fusion rifles. So in Season 14, Bungie bumped these up, but believe that while their potential damage output competes numerically, they're extra hot right now because of the sweet particle deconstruction artifact mod, and they can't really compete with ease of use for other damage options. So last time they got a precision damage buff, and this time they are getting a flat damage buff, so they've increased the PvE damage for linear fusion rifles by 10%. So let's have a look at two good linear fusion rifles. So first of all, Threaded Needle. This one is a legendary power linear fusion rifle with a precision frame, meaning it fires a long-range precision energy bolt. So for PvE, Clown Cartridge and Dragonfly would be good. So Clown Cartridge randomly overfills the magazine on reloading, and Dragonfly creates elemental damage explosions on kills. Another good PvE role would be Rapid Hit and Vorpal Weapon, making it really useful against bosses for Lead and Lost Sectors, Strikes, Nightfalls, and Raids too. For PvP, Killing Wind and Vorpal Weapon would be really good, so giving you a boost to mobility, range and handling for a short duration through Killing Wind, and Vorpal Weapon is really good for taking out Guardians in their super. There's also Reed's Regret. So Reed's Regret is a legendary power linear fusion rifle. Again, this one comes from Trials of Osiris, and it's a precision frame, meaning it fires a long-range precision energy bolt. And the weapon's recoil pattern is much more predictably vertical. So for PvE, Triple Tap and Firing Line would be good. Triple Tap is where rapidly landing precision hits will return 1 round to the magazine, and Firing Line is good for boss DPS in raids, as you get benefits standing next to teammates. For PvP, Quick Draw and Vorpal Weapon would be good. So Quick Draw makes it so you can draw the weapon really, really fast, and Vorpal Weapon is good for killing Guardians in their super. Well, next we've got shotguns. So in Season 11, Bungie wanted to see if slug shotguns could be viable in PvE with a high enough reward for the risk of being close and the time it takes to aim to the head. Well, the good news is that they are viable. However, they currently outclass the pellet shotguns and many other special ammo options, not to mention being part of a dominant boss melt tactic, and Bungie want to equalise that a little bit. However, since pellet shotguns are easier to use than slug shotguns, they don't really need a large bump. So they've reduced the slug shotgun PvE damage bonus from 30% to 20% and gave pellet shotguns a 10% PvE damage bonus. So I'm going to have a look at two pellet shotguns here. So we've got the 7th Seraph CQC shotgun. That one is a legendary energy shotgun that is a lightweight frame, meaning it's got superb handling, and you move faster with the weapon equipped. For PvP, Quick Draw and Snapshot Sights would be really good, and for PvE, Slide Shot and Vorpal Weapon, that would be a good one to look out for. Then we've got the Ikelos shotgun. So this one is a rapid fire frame shotgun, meaning it fires full auto with deeper ammo reserves, and it dishes out solar damage. So this one is good with elemental capacitor, disruption break, and also in the third slot you've got feeding frenzy and firmly planted, and also moving target too. For PvP, I go for something like moving target and disruption break, or PvE, I've got vorpal weapon and feeding frenzy. That would be a good option. Although also in PvE, trench barrel is another good one to look out for. Next up we got bows. So in Season 11, Bungie bumped up the bow damage from 10% versus rank and file enemies, and having seen this in the game now for a few seasons, Bungie think it's safe to nudge them up just a little bit. So they've increased the damage versus rank and file enemies by about 10%. In terms of good bows to look out for, we've got Biting Winds. This one is a legendary kinetic combat bow. It's a precision frame compound bow where the longer draw time is optimised for damage. So for PvP, Killing Wind and Explosive Head would be good, and for PvE, something like Rapid Hit and Swashbuckler would be a great role. Most popular role out there at the moment is Killing Wind and Explosive Head, so I would look out for that one if you can. So in terms of getting Biting Winds, you want to head down to Europa, and you can get a quest off Varix, and then you can get Biting Winds. Well, next up we got Wolftone Draw. That is a legendary energy combat bow with a precision frame, meaning a longer draw time, and it's optimised for damage as well. So for PvE, Agile Bowstring, Carbon Arrow Shaft, Impulse Amplifier, and Dragonfly would be really good. And for PvP, Archer's Tempo, Adagio would be really good, and Archer's Tempo decreases that draw time for every precision hit, and Adagio increases damage after defeating an enemy. And to get this one, you can get it in Season of the Lost. You want to look out for that Astral Alignment activity, and you should be able to get it as a drop from the end. Or you can go to the Prismatic Recaster in the helm and use your Umbral Engrams, but that is in Season of the Lost. So while the Wolftone Draw is around, I would make the most of it and try and get yourself a good few rolls. So finally today, let's have a look at some perks. They're going to be really good for that December the 7th patch. First up, we've got Adrenaline Junkie. So let's have a look at what Adrenaline Junkie is supposed to do. So Grenade Final Blows grant bonus damage and handling for a moderate duration. So Bungie said this perk wasn't performing as well as intended, and the path of least resistance was making it live up to its dev name, and that was Grenade Buckler. So basically it's like Swashbuckler but for grenades. So in terms of the changes, Bungie say eliminations with the weapon can add single damage stacks or extend existing ones. Grenade elimination boosts these stacks immediately to ×5 and lowered the duration to compensate for weapon activation. So I would have a look through your vault and check out anything with Adrenaline Junkie. So I've got a really decent Chroma Rush I'm definitely going to be using with Adrenaline Junkie. I also have a few decent pulse rifles as well. I think Chroma Rush is going to be the one for me. So next up we got Pulse Monitor. Looking at the description again, this one says, automatically reloads the magazine, improves the weapon handling when critically wounded, even when the weapon is stowed. So Bungie say about this one, what if instead of activating on what feels like a failed state, so basically that was 90% health, so this activated on a state that you're almost in every encounter, even if you're winning. So Bungie say about the changes, they've changed the threshold for activation from 90% health to 30% shield, i.e. this now requires much less damage to trigger. And going back to that perk description, so it automatically reloads the magazine, improves the weapon handling. So that is going to be really, really good on December the 7th. Well, let me know down in the comments which weapons you're going to be picking up before Bungie's 30th anniversary, and let me know what you think about these sandbox changes. Well, that is it for this guide for the best legendary weapons and perks to get before Bungie's 30th anniversary event in Destiny 2. As always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you soon.